I think we still have, James, how many is it? About 45 that are still in prison? Just under 60? Mm-hmm. And some of those still hopefully will be released under the Obama administration, but there is this group of, I think it's around 40 prisoners that the United States government has said that we will never release them. We will never give them a trial. We will never tell them really what their charges are, and it's because we have tortured them. And the things that we have done to them are something that the United States government, and it doesn't matter which administration did it to them. I mean, it was under the Bush administration, for God's sakes. But even the Obama administration will not acknowledge what we did to them. So in January, I mean, we're talking about things we can do. I mean, things to fight off depression. Things to make sure that we do not fail in our civic duties, to not let these criminal acts, really, that our government is doing, not to let them go unanswered. So in January, you may join the group Witness Against Torture that ever since 2002 has been having a vigil, and usually it's in the snow in Washington, D.C. in front of the White House. How many of you all ever been to Witness Against Torture? Yeah. Well, it is really important, and the pictures of Americans standing in front of the White House to say to the American government, torture is wrong and holding these men in Guantanamo is wrong, those pictures go around the world. It is one of the things that can counteract the normal image that the people of the world have of us and our country. That really we're idiots, that we're bigoted idiots. That's really what we're fighting against now. The worldwide opinion of the United States of America is not that we are an exceptional country, as our leaders try to tell us we are. Because we're not. We're certainly no better than anyone else, and when you look at the numbers of killings that we do around the world, the warmongering that we do, and it doesn't matter who's in power, whether it's Republican or Democrats, we are a warmongering country. And it's us who are the few and the mighty right here that are standing up to our government to say we don't want to be known as a country that kills people. We don't want to be known as that. We want to be known for something else, and that's why some of the places that we all go, we try to go, if it's not in our physical body, at least it's in our mind. It's in our mind when we watch Democracy Now! It's in our mind when we look on the internet and find out what's going on around the world that we should be concerned about. The global hotspots that the United States of America's government has caused around the world. I'll be going from here to Leavenworth, Kansas tomorrow. And at Leavenworth, we'll be having a vigil for a young woman who is now in jail for 35 years for exposing the fact that the United States was murdering people. In the movie Collateral Damage, or Collateral Murder, which many of you have seen, when Chelsea Manning released a huge volume of material through WikiLeaks that identified the acts of the U.S. government in Afghanistan and Iraq that I think most of us are ashamed of, very ashamed of. And Chelsea Manning has been put in prison for 35 years. She's now completed 6.5 years. She has now, in the last 6 months, attempted suicide twice. Suicide twice. So we are going to have a vigil tomorrow, a vigil for her, to let her know that we have not forgotten her, that after she has been now in Leavenworth, that we have not forgotten her. And we have an appeal for you all. Her lawyers have now put in a request for clemency to President Obama. Clemency to say she has suffered enough. She has served her time. And when you think about all of the other people that have disclosed classified information, who haven't served a day in jail, who've never been convicted of anything, I think 6.5 years is plenty for that young person. And so there is an official request for clemency that has already gone to President Obama on the 10th of November. And we do have up a petition for clemency for Chelsea Manning that is online. It's on the White House website. It's that website, you know, that if you can get 100,000 signatures on whatever issue it is, then they take that petition and the President of the United States sees it. But you have to have 100,000 signatures. So by December 14th, we need to get another 87,000 signatures. We now have 13,000 and it's only been up 4 days. But I know we're going to go well over 100,000, but we need your help to keep moving that. So Chelsea Manning is one of the people that we're concerned about. You think of global hotspots and what we know about these hotspots and the other people who have shown great courage to let us know about this. If you think about Ed Snowden, who's now sitting in prison in Moscow. If you think about Julian Assange, who is in prison at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. These people who are serving time for letting us know what our government's doing and why there are global hotspots, what our government has done in places like Yemen and Iraq and in Syria and in Afghanistan. These are people that we cannot forget as we face yet one more political administration that will probably be trying to continue the war on whistleblowers that has continued through not only the Bush administration, but the Obama administration, and will continue under the Trump administration. So it's up to us to stand up for these young men and women. And it's up to us to stand up at Standing Rock. We talk about global issues, but how about domestic issues? Domestic issues of the thirst for petroleum products that America and the world has. And we're at Standing Rock, where the Native Americans there, the Sioux Dakota, the Dakota Sioux Indians, and all of the allies, the Native American allies that are coming in from all over our country, all over our nation, who are coming in there. And really the first time they say that they can remember that there is a whole nationwide gathering of Native American tribes. And it's beautiful. How many of you all have been to Standing Rock yet? Well, oh good, that's something you all can go to. There, right now, I know Don has a t-shirt. I saw, there he is back there. He's got a t-shirt on. There, turn around and look at Don's t-shirt. Yeah, the Standing Rock. He'll be coming up here in just a moment. But the Standing Rock is really, really fascinating. It's reminiscent of what was going on 3 years ago with Occupy. That the spirit of Native Americans plus their allies, us the generally European heritage, many of us though from other parts of the world, but allies who are going to Standing Rock, standing with the people there who are saying no to the Dakota Access Pipeline, and standing off a militarization of local police like, I wouldn't say like you've never seen before, because we have seen it before. We've seen it at various Occupies, where the Ninja Turtles, where our local police are dressing up in the horrific militarized outfits that they have, with their helmets on, their flak vests, their assault rifles. I mean, this is not just normal law enforcement. This is the military coming in after people that are challenging things like pipelines. The law enforcement of our country who are there protecting the corporate interests of the United States. The corporate interests, the biggest moneymaker really in the history of the world, our oil companies. And there is law enforcement right there to protect the oil lines, the pipelines that we know are bursting all over our country. And yet we do have a group